Hey, it's Fern Bark, and today we're going to take a look at the new Ryobi 18-volt hybrid transfer pump. It's just basically a little impeller pump, and in the box you get a bunch of cool items, including a 110-volt power supply that you can use instead of the 18-volt 1+ battery system. You get the intake hose and a screen filter, and of course the pump. Also included in the package is a additional impeller and an O-ring in case you need to replace this guy right here. The business end of the pump is pretty straightforward. You have an inlet and an outlet. The pump does come with a little tube of lubricant. I think it's probably mineral oil. Just put a few drops in there before you start the pump. And then it has an on-off switch. It also has a dummy light to let you know if there's a few situations that the pump doesn't like, such as if you let it run dry or if you run it so long that the motor overheats. So there's a couple things that'll let you know if things are going amiss. The back side of the pump has a cover that goes over either the 110 power supply. Well, it's actually not 110 when it gets here, it's 18 volt, because this brick converts your 110 into 18 volt. And this is 7 amp power supply. Not that may mean much to anybody. But anyhow, you can't use the power supply and the battery at the same time because the battery is going to cover up the inlet for the power brick. And then when you want to run it, you just close the lid back on it and you're good to go. The only assembly is you have to snap on this base right here. It's no big deal, it just clips into place. It's got a little spot here to hold the hose if you want to coil up your intake hose and store it on there. I've played with this pump a little bit. It pumps really good. It's a little louder than I thought it was going to be. Not really probably a big deal. This thing I thought was going to be pretty cool. So far it's been a little bit troublesome. It's probably a good idea to use if you're sucking out like a swimming pool or something like that that has a lot of leaves, or maybe bird bath or something, I don't know. But the hose that comes with it, this thing right here, is so stiff that you can't, it's very difficult to make this lay flat and then get this to angle up. This is really easy to take on and off. There's not any threading in here. You just jam it onto the end of the hose and then you're done. And if you want to take it off, it just pops right off. Easy peasy. Okay, we're about 2 minutes in and it's a little over halfway done, so this thing's really cooking right along. Getting pretty good flow out of 50 feet of hose. The first time I tried doing this experiment, my hose was so old and kinked up it was just dribbling out of there, so I got a new hose to give this pump a fair shot. Right around 5 minutes to empty this toad out. I couldn't get it drained flat down to the bottom. This little thing here and the fact that this hose is super stiff just made it really hard to get all the way down to empty this completely dry, but all in all, pretty satisfied with the way this pump worked. I'm going to say conservatively it was 23-24 gallons in about 5 minutes, so that's about 4.8 gallons a minute, which is pretty good for a tiny little pump like this. This thing really hummed along. I was quite pleased with how fast it pumped. And after 5 minutes of running, those lights are hard to see. I thought it was here in the dark where you could tell better. I'm still showing 4 bars. So yeah, 5 minutes isn't really that much runtime on a big battery like this. You could really pump a lot of water with a 4 amp hour battery. About the only performance information that they give you is that it's supposed to potentially pump up to 325 gallons per hour, which works out to 5.4 something gallons per minute. That's a little better than what I was getting. I was getting right around 5. I don't know if that 325 per hour is with the brick, and maybe that it pumps a little quicker with that. I didn't test it that way. With the short time that I've been playing with this thing, I have to say I'm pretty impressed with it. I do have a fair amount of experience with portable pumps. This is pretty much on the smaller end of the spectrum. I wouldn't be doing probably a lot of heavy duty pumping with this, but it's pretty good for some small type projects. This kit does not include any batteries, so if you're going to run it on the batteries, you're going to have to buy that yourself. But if you're a Ryobi person, you probably got a half dozen of those things laying around anyway. If you're going to do a lot of pumping, you're going to probably really want to stick the 4 amp hour battery in this guy. But all in all, I'm pretty pleased with it so far. I would have to say that the one thing that I'm a little nervous about is that I looked at the replacement impeller that came with it, and there's no markings on it at all. So usually you can find replacement impellers from a variety of places, and they're pretty easy to spot. If I do end up needing a replacement impeller once I go through the spare that they sent, I'm either going to have to get it from Ryobi or hopefully find a generic match for it someplace and take what's left over of the one that I have, or I should probably take the new one that I got somewhere and get a couple spares right now. But really that's about the only downside so far in regards to this pump. Anyhow, hope this helped. Thanks for watching.